What's good? It's your guy Brahma, and in this video, I'm gonna break down this beat that I recreated from Dr. Dre, the Still Dre track. Very phenomenal joint. So I'm gonna give you the full breakdown. I'm gonna break down every instrument, every element that I put in this joint to bring it to life. So let's go ahead and go behind the scenes and get into Logic Pro so I can walk you through it. Okay, so here we are behind the scenes. Without further ado, I'm gonna play you the beat so you can vibe to it. And right after that, we're gonna break down every instrument and every element used to bring this track to life so you can see exactly what I did. So there you have it, man. That's the beat. Now it's time to break everything down. So if you don't know, this is Still Dre by Dr. Dre. Probably another one of my favorite Dre tracks. That mug is legendary, classic. Hearing it brings me the nostalgia of when it came out. I remember when it dropped, man. I was like 14 years old. So, and that's when I started making beats. So this music that I remake, I'm not remaking it just because it's a dope track. That's part of it, but it's also because of the nostalgia. When you're a producer and you go back to the music that helped you become who you became, help you craft and shape your sound, then you start to really understand the elements that were at play when that music was made. So it's basically nostalgic, just going back to be able to remake it and testing my skills to even have the skills. I mean, because I'm not saying I'm on a Dre level because Dre's on a whole nother level. That guy is somewhere else. But to be able to even comprehend a Dre track and attempt to remake it in the way that I have makes me feel proud because I've touched a piece of music that I love. And now I understand why those guys did that back in the day with resampling records or replaying them and making new music to them. Anyway, let's get into the track, man. I'm not trying to talk your head off. I just wanted to give you some background behind why I did this track and what drove me to do it. So the first thing we got two different sections too, because I like to bounce these things in place every once in a while, especially when I'm mixing it. So that way I'm not using as much CPU with the plugins, but also I have more control over the sound via the wave file. Sometimes I'll leave it if I think I'm going to change the sound again. I might leave it as a MIDI instrument, but most of the times after when I'm done and I'm about to start the mixing process, I'm going to bounce it down into a wave bounce in place. So anyway, let's get to it. So the drums, let's solo the drums right now, and we have really just 5 drum sounds at play right now. So let's play it. Different drums than what Dre used. He used just a snare, but what I did was I stacked 2 claps and a snare together to make my own kind of snare, to give my own fingerprint to the sound. I wanted to do it my own kind of way. So check it out. So the snare is from let me go up here to the original file. It's from the Apeshit drums too. But see, this was an actual kit that I made for myself. So it's called Higher Self. I've never put this kit out. But it's part of it was made and formatted for the Apeshit drums too. So that's the snare. And I may actually take this snare and put it in the newer the drum tank plugin for my Ape Army soldiers. So here's the hi-hat, right? Kept it real simple. 1-2 punch on it. And this hi-hat is from the Ape Shit drums too. It's from the original drums. And it's called Hindi Bindi. I don't know. That might be one of the ones I made for myself too. Actually, no, it's not. It's no, hold on. Original drums. Yeah, I might have made this one for myself too because I don't see this expansion inside the original drums. I just kept I didn't put a new label on it. So that was one of my personal ones too. But inside the drums, there's dope drum sounds in the Ape drums, 2 expansions and everything. I just started making my own kits with it because I wanted to personalize my sound a little bit more. And you could still tweak inside there, but these ones were just kind of special. So I wanted to add them into my own kind of, kit. I might release this later, like I said, either in the drum tank plugin or Ape drums too. So here's some claps I stacked together that I sampled. Right. And these claps are actually inside the drum tank plugin for the Ape Army. So you'll be able to get those too. Here's a kick. Let's see where this kick came from. This is from my personal stash again. Remaking this track, I really wanted to kind of personalize the drums because this track is personal to me. Anyway, let's play these instruments right here. So there's 3 different plucks I blended together to get that sound for what was used as a piano in the original joint. I didn't want to use a piano for this part. I wanted to put my own touch on it. So I went in and added some pluck sounds from the Gangstar plugin. In Gangstar plugin, if you haven't seen it or you don't have it, you definitely want to grab that. Let's go to, so it's the Gold Spokes pluck, which I don't know why this says bass. This is Gold Spokes pluck. And oh no, hold on, let's see. Yeah, this is gold. It says Gold Spokes bass, but it's really the gold flakes pluck is what. I think what happened was I had the Gold Spokes bass loaded on that same track and I forgot to rename it. But you'll see it's Gold Flakes pluck on the file. Right, so that's the first one. Then there's this 92 watts pluck, which is also inside the Gangstar plugin. But I put them together to make a unique sound that has never existed before. That is the benefit of layering. It gives you something different. And I pan one to the left, one to the right, and one right up the middle. So it gives a stereo field kind of vibe. This is Indica pluck. And right, actually, I need to cut out some of this low end. There's some low end right there. Right? Okay, so now let's play them together. So you have some high range, high end, high range sounds, right? And you got some mid range and lower. So it's like lower mid high and high range sounds together that bring this harmonic kind of symphonic vibe to it. Right, so they're singing together. So now you got the bass line, which is a low bass. It's from the Gangstar plugin. A good portion of this plugin, as you see, all the melodies and basses are from the Gangstar plugin, and it's actually low bass. So that's what happened. I played with a couple of bass lines. I had Midnight Bass, which is from Gangstar, and then, or actually Blunt Bass. I'm sorry, Midnight Bass was originally I was using the Apeshit Bass plugin, and I didn't end up using that. The Gangstar plugin actually filled up the frequency I needed. I found the frequency I needed, but I played with different ones. There was the this one, there was another bass, but low bass is what made the cut. Gold Spokes bass was I was playing with too. So, but low bass from the Gangstar plugin is what really did it for me. So let me play that one for you so you can hear how it sounds solo. And I actually may have to rebounce that sound and turn it down a little bit. It's kind of loud, or throw some compression on it. But basically, this is a basic mix I did for it. I'm not finished with the mix for it. Let me show you the hydros that are in here. So hydraulics, if you don't know, the Gangstar plugin has two banks with hydraulic switches in them. Right, crazy. Sound like you're hitting switches, but these are super animated hydraulic switches. They're not like the regular hydraulic switches. These are super animated. But let's listen. Right, and that's inspired by the whole Chronic album. You listen to the intro, Dre starts the whole album off hitting switches, rolling through. Right, he's like the first one to really do that. And then you had Rockwilder sample those same switches and make the exhibit track. Oh no, let's get drunk and for show. Please stop running your mouth. Oh no, that track is banging. Rockwilder was crazy for that, but he sampled those switches and put them in the beat. Crazy. So anyway, next instrument is these strings. As you know, that track is known for its strings, and these are strings of antiquity from the Ape Shit Symphony plugin. If you don't know about this plugin, you definitely want to grab it. This has all of the symphony type sounds that you need, right? Brass, keyboards, mallets, strings, woodwinds. Pretty dope. Okay, so let me play this for you, the strings. Right, real simple, real simple. And then the soprano piano. Just real simple from the apeshit keys. This is just to put emphasis on that part. If you hear that joint, Dre made it in a very symphonic mindset kind of a way. He didn't put a bunch of different instruments in there. He layered things on top of each other to sing along with each other. The bass is singing along with those strings. Everything's singing along with each other. Then the only thing that's kind of separate, which everything is singing with anyway, is that main lead instrument, the plucking, the pluck that I just played to you that was originally done with a piano. By the way, I studied this track for a long time, but I played that melody for weeks before I put it into the beat. Before I even laid it down as a track, I made sure I learned it because I wanted to be able to play it all the way through, not just piece it together. I wanted to really feel like what Scott Storch was doing when he made that piano line. So I studied and I studied and I studied, and then I finally put it together the way that I liked. I used different sounds, and when I created the Gangstar plugin, that's what really allowed me to bring this beat to life the way that I really wanted to, and with still doing it justice. not just making a bunk track. You can't come bunk if you're gonna remake a Dre track. And they knew that when they remade their favorite, the legends before them. They said we gotta really be on our P's and Q's if we're gonna remake this stuff, because it got to be able to at least stand on its own. It may not stand up to the level as the original, but it needs to stand on its own to where it can be respected. Um, and that's just what it is. So anyway, I'll play the beat for you one more time, so you could hear it from new ears, since I broke everything down for you, and you could hear each element in every piece come together. I didn't, like I said, I didn't do this exact. I didn't use the same sounds. I used my own sounds, the way I interpreted it, and I wanted to add more of a nostalgic G-funk sound to it, because Dre, when he did this, he was creating a new G-funk sound with this. Chronic 2001 is a whole new G-funk sound. There's some elements of the older G-funk sound in it, but he created a whole new G-funk sound. So I took some of that new G-funk that he created, and I blended some of the old G-funk with it. That 90s vibe, early 90s vibe to it. Okay, so let's play the beat again so we can vibe out to it. All right, so there you have it, man. I showed you the full breakdown, full walkthrough of the Still Dre beat that I remade. I showed you every plugin, every element of it. If you're digging it, make sure you like it. Like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you want more material like this. Just let me know in the comments too. One of your favorite Dre tracks. This is probably in my top 10. It gots to be. But yeah, so make sure you grab that Gangstar plugin too. I'll leave the link in the description, and you can grab it. You definitely want this in your arsenal, especially if you're a G-Funk fan or you love making that funky, that G-Funk West Coast vibe. Definitely need this plugin in your stash. It's the only G-Funk plugin right now that sounds like the way it does. And it's probably the only branded as far as like a straight up G-Funk plugin. This is probably the only one out there. So grab it. I left a link in the description. Also, if you really funking with this one, check out this next video where I bang out a Death Row track like no other. It's definitely inspired by the Death Row greatest producers, Daz, Superfly, Dr. Dre, all of them guys. Check this video out right here.